Buongiorno. Today we're going to be talking about mai, a word you might have seen in Italian which has two meanings, ever and never. Now you might be wondering how can it mean two different things? We're going to explore all of that today. We're looking at some example sentences, example conversation, vocab, and things you can use. But if you remember one thing, I want you to remember that mai can mean ever or never. Let's look at this example. So, non sono stato mai would mean I have never been. Okay, let's dive into a little bit more detail. And all of the talking points that we're going to cover today are from real Italian lessons. So I transcribe all my lessons, and then if there is a mistake that comes up maybe 3, 4, 5 times, then I'll make a video about it because it's likely that it's something that many people are actually confused on. So some common mistakes using mai. Let's start out with confusing ma and mai. Okay, so ma means but and mai means something completely different. Now, I get it. You know, the two words, they have a very, very similar spelling, but they do mean completely different things. Okay, next is translating sentences from English incorrectly. So if we take a sentence like this, I have never been to Italy. I've seen this in lessons a couple times. Ho mai stato in Italia. Okay, now ho, yeah, we know in Italian means I have, and then just kind of sandwiching in the mai here, but this isn't really correct. The correct answer is non sono mai stata in Italia. Okay, now let's look at a couple more of these phrases because they do follow, thankfully, there's one area of Italian that follows a bit of a pattern. They do follow a template here, which is, so non ho mai visto quel film. I have never seen that film. Non ho mai bevuto il tè. I have never drunk tea. Non siamo mai stati in Inghilterra. We have never been, to England. So they follow this kind of pattern of non, then the helper verb, then mai, then the past participle. If these words are complete gobbledygook to you, auxiliary, past participle, what is all of this? You need to Google passato prossimo explained. There are many YouTube videos and guides online and everything teaching the passato prossimo. So if you're not sure, go and have a look at that. Linked to this, it's not really to do with mai, but tangential to this, is using avere instead of essere with movement verbs. So, for example, saying ho mai andato instead of non sono mai andato. Yeah, so some verbs, like these movement verbs, like andare, just need to take sono andato and not ho andato. Anyway, this is something relegated to the passato prossimo. Okay, something else is using the present instead of the past tense. So, saying something like non vado mai in Italia. This would translate to I don't ever go to Italy versus what you want to say is probably I've never been to Italy. Yeah, so you want to distinguish between, never, and like, not even once, like non sono mai stato, and then I never do this as a habit, which would be non vado mai. Yeah, so for instance, if I was to say non vado mai a cena fuori il lunedì, it would be I never go out to dinner on Mondays. Yeah. Okay, some example vocab. So we would have, mai we talked about. Mai più would be never again. Quasi mai. Non mai. So this is our standard statement, like non ho visto mai quel film. We could say hai mai, for example, hai mai assaggiato il tartufo? Have you ever tried truffle? Or we could say sei mai stato in Italia? Yeah, have you ever been? And here's a list of just helpful verbs to combine with mai. So you might be asking, have you ever drunk, visited, tried, driven, blah, blah, blah. And then you would reply to that with yes, I have, or no, I have never. So have you ever? No, I have never. In Italian, we use the same word basically for both of these. Okay, you can listen to my sales pitch shortly. So I've created an Italian practice tool, which is basically a bunch of quizzes. As you can see, we have them in categories of verbs, articles, numbers, and some other stuff. So if we open up, let's say, like the future tense in Italian, and you will get a bunch of questions that you would just need to fill out in Italian. Scriverete, aprirò. Yeah, no, I forgot the accent mark here, my mistake. But it will give it to you as a reminder if you're not sure how to get that up. Now, the reason that I made this is I just got a bit frustrated that there wasn't a really good way to search for specific Italian exercises that you want to do. And also, you're constantly flicking back and forth between the conjugation tables, in your book or whatever. My students usually write them down, and this. So I've also added a little box here that will just tell you the endings that you will need to then put in. So, for example, if we look at this one, number 5, so we look at scrivere. Scrivere is an ere verb, it ends in ere. Therefore, we're going to go to the ere bit. We see the ending is erai, so we're going to put scriverai. Okay, so yeah, basically this is a product that I'm building. I want to get feedback on it. It's currently, the time of recording, completely free. So please do give it a go. I'm going to leave a link in the description and just have a look at the catalogue basically, and have a go at a quiz. Similarly, I do have a newsletter. So if you just want a little bit more Italian in your life, then I send out a newsletter once a week. So you can sign up to that in the description. And yeah, all right. So let's look at some example sentences. So, talking about things that you've never done even once. So, for example, non sono mai stata in Italia continentale. Yeah, or non sono mai stato in Sicilia. Yeah, so hopefully by just repeating this, you will get used to the form of like non mai blah, non mai blah blah blah. Non ho mai visitato Venezia. Non ho mai guidato in Italia. Non ho mai preso lo zucchero nel caffè. Yeah? And then I never do this in the present tense would be non vado mai al ristorante. Non bevo mai il latte. Non guardo mai. So the reason this is present tense, so guardo is present tense verb. If we wanted to say non ho mai guardato la TV la mattina. I have never watched TV in the morning. Okay, you can also have questions. So, hai mai preso lo zucchero nel caffè? Have you ever had sugar in your coffee? Sei mai stato in Sicilia? Avete mai provato il chinotto? Chinotto, if you're not sure what it is it's this. Just Google it. It has a very, very strange flavour. Hai mai guidato in Italia? And then again, now you can either say, sì, or you can say no. Non abbiamo mai guidato. So you can see the same word is being used in a question and in an answer. Yeah, in English, obviously, we separate this out into ever and never, but in Italian, it's okay to just stick them in the same word. Ok, so mai più and quasi mai. Non voglio mai più prendere l'aereo da sola. Non mangio quasi mai il pesce. Non vado mai più al dentista nel pomeriggio. Okay? Let's have a look at a little example conversation here. So, Giulia, sei mai stata in Italia continentale? Have you ever been to continental Italy? Mainland Italy, pardon me. No, non sono mai stata in Italia continentale, solo in Sicilia. No, I've never been, only to Sicily. Ah, capito. E hai mai guidato in Italia? No, non ho mai guidato in Italia. Ho paura del traffico. So, I understand. Have you ever driven in Italy? No, I've never driven in Italy. I'm scared of the traffic. Ah, normale. Hai mai provato il chinotto? Have you ever tried? It's normal to be afraid of traffic in Italy. Have you ever tried chinotto? Yes, I've tried it once, but I don't want to drink it ever again. Faceva schifo. Faceva schifo means it stinks, like it was gross, so you never want to have it again. Ok, il pesce? Mangi mai il pesce? How about fish? Do you ever eat fish? Non mangio mai il pesce. Il pesce non mi piace per niente. So I never eat fish. I don't like fish whatsoever. Ok, quindi non hai mai mangiato una buona pasta con il pesce fresco in Italia. Okay, so it means that you've never had a delicious pasta with fresh fish in Italy. Esatto, non ho mai mangiato il pesce in Italia e forse è meglio così. Exactly, I've never had fish in Italy and probably is for the best. Va bene, alla prossima vacanza in Italia facciamo una lista di cose che non hai mai fatto. Great. So in your next time in Italy, we'll make a list of things that you've never ever done. Perfetto. Dopo quel viaggio spero di poter dire non sono più una persona che non ha mai visto l'Italia continentale. So perfect. After that trip, I hope to be able to say that I'm no longer a person who has never seen mainland Italy. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to leave a video on screen now that I think will make sense to watch right after this one. So I hope that was useful again. Just think about when you're using my in a question and when you're using it in a statement. So have you ever and I have never. And I will see you in a video very, very shortly.